It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine from thejasminebrand.com is here.
Yes.
And we have a true legend in the building. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Billy Porter is here.
Hi.
And
How are you both?
You know what we got to do?
What do we have to do?
We got to let these children
children
know what
time
time it is.
What time it is?
Gotta
Yes.
let the children know what
Time
time it is.
Yes, I love it.
Listen, we are so excited. First of all, we got a little sneak preview of the album in advance.
Yep.
And when
Yes.
I tell you, we have been in here jamming because it is a fun album.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so excited about it. You know, I've been in this business for a really long time. My first album, mainstream R&B album, came out in 1997.
It was a way different look, too. Let me
It was
tell
a way
you.
different
I was
look.
looking at some of those old videos.
Right, and the business was very homophobic, and you know, it just wasn't my time. And what I love about what has been able to happen in the 27 years since is that I've been able to actually find out who I am, choose myself, and then use that authenticity to move forward. And the world also has cracked open in a different way
Right.
to receive me in my space. You know,
Yes.
it's been a magical, magical time to have lived long enough to see this happen, to be here in this room with y'all on these radio stations all over the, you know, it's a thing.
And there's, listen, a lot of wins, you know, but then there's some things that you're like, what century is this? And what,
Yes, of
you know,
course.
time, because I saw you in Florida just
Yes.
talking about the backwards movement
Yes.
of LGBTQIA plus rights. And I think that is a shame, like to see the history being erased, books being banned.
Trying to be. And if there's one thing that I can say about it, you know, I met John Lewis. I had the pleasure of and gift of meeting John Lewis before he passed. And the one thing that he always said, never give up hope.
Right.
Never give up and never give in. You know, and that resonates with me because what we have to remind the masses is that the change has already happened. The reason for the pushback is because the change has already happened, y'all. Right? That's why the pushback is so severe. We ain't talking about that positive part of it
Right.
yet, though. You know, but I've lived it.
Right.
I'm sitting here in front of you. I was dismissed from the world in the 90s being black and queer. I was dismissed. There was no space for me.
Right.
Right? And so the news cycles create a space where it's all for profit. So if it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
nobody's talking about the positive stuff.
Yeah, you're right about that.
You know, there's so much positive going on.
And something I also have to realize, because the truth to the matter is that, like, leadership changes, politicians change.
Yeah.
Policies,
And so that's when
yeah.
policies change
Yeah.
too. And so
Yes.
while you might have somebody who's leading in a space right now, that's not permanent.
No.
And we have the power to change that. And sometimes change does seem slow.
It is.
Because we want it to happen
It is.
now. You
Calm
know?
down.
What,
Change it slow.
what do you think? Was there a moment where you feel like you saw a shift in terms of acceptance in the community? Was there? I know there's not one thing.
Yeah,
but
it's been so the evolution has been so like the arc of justice, the arc of whatever bends towards justice. Like it's been incremental.
Right.
It's been really slow. It's been incremental. There've been incremental wins. But for me, I came out in 1985. So there's been incremental wins since 1985. And all of a sudden, you're like, oh, marriage equality. Oh, I can be the black queen that I am. And y'all, now it's my superpower.
Right.
Like I said, I'm so grateful to have lived long enough. It's like you just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Just keep putting one foot in front of the
Yeah.
other. And one day, you're like, oh,
Listen, you could have never told me there would be a time when it was fashionable for men to wear a dress, no matter what they identify as.
Correct.
And now we see guys coming out and
you're welcome, world.
nail polish.
You're welcome,
nail
world.
polish.
Yeah.
There's just so many things that, and look, people still have an issue with it.
Yeah.
But there's people that,
That's their issue,
yeah.
right? I took myself out of the masculinity game a couple decades ago. Clothes don't have gender. I don't understand why me having on something that's considered feminine triggers other people so much. What does it have to do with you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't understand the conversation, actually.
Yeah. Why does it bother you?
Why does it bother you?
Right.
I'm over here doing me. Why does doing me bother you? Like, that's the whole conversation.
Right.
I think just politically, all of it. It's like, listen, this is not about tolerance. This is not about acceptance. This is about we're all on the planet and we have to get along, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Respect my humanity, just as I respect everybody's. I don't care who you are. I don't like a lot of types of people. I don't like a lot of types of people, but I'm not spending my time and my energy trying to take those people's rights away.
Right.
I honor and respect everybody's humanity, right? We coexist.
And those outfits be amazing, by the way.
Well, and maybe I was just thinking when he was saying, "Why does it bother you?" Maybe because you look better in it than me.
Yeah, sometimes that bothers me. I'm like, I want that purple. You know,
Yeah, like I want this leg,
I want that.
this right leg right here. I can take this right leg.
Okay, why are you in here looking like this and I'm looking like I just
Right.
rolled out of bed?
You all look gorgeous.
Whatever.
And you know, okay, so I want to get back to the album because
Yes,
we did get
yes,
a
yes,
sneak
yes.
peek. Audacity. Now that actually veered off of but it was so amazing to me just from the beginning of it, a different type of feel and sound on the album, but so honest, and I feel like something that was definitely very autobiographical. So let's talk about that song for a second, where you discuss just growing
I'm so
up.
glad you brought that one up.
Mm-hmm.
I am a complete human being. I am a complete artist. This album really took on a life of its own. It started out, and it was supposed to be, it started out, my idea was to have it be a house, disco, continuous, dance music album. And thank God, as we were writing it, and I was open to the spirit coming in and shifting it and however it needed to be, it became something else. Thank God, because I would have been buried under Beyonce right now.
You would have.
Right? That was the world going, not yet, boo.
Yeah.
Not yet. Do this, right?
Right.
And so there are a lot of different styles and genres on the record. And my hope is that people will go back old school and listen to it from beginning, middle, and end. Because there's a shape to it, there's an emotional journey to it that's on purpose. And you ending from where we start to Audacity at the end, which is a stripped down version of self-love. Of self-love, of self-care, of self-knowledge, of understanding your purpose. Understanding. It took me understanding my purpose, my calling, dare I say my ministry on this planet. And I do dare.
Right.
And it took some time. So Audacity, to show up honestly. How dare I believe that I could only be me? The audacity to speak without trembling.
It's like poetry.
It was.
Yeah.
I wanted to give that little kid a hug that you talk about how you were when you were young. Did you have support? Was there anybody you felt like you could confide in?
My art was my confidant. I have a book out. I talk about it. Unprotected. It's a memoir. The title, it's all in the title. I was completely unprotected. My family loved me. It wasn't that.
Right.
But my queerness, you're born this way. And my queerness was very evident. And that was difficult growing up in the Pentecostal church.
Yes.
Growing up in the world as it was, coming out at 15, and then there was the AIDS crisis right there. There was a lot of trauma. And my comfort was my art. And I'm so grateful to have understood that so early. I really understood it really early.
Right.
And I knew that my singing voice, my talent was my protector. It was my weapon. It was everything to me. My identity, it was everything. And it saved me. It really did.
That's great. That's why art is so important.
It is, for sure.
Absolutely.
My favorite song is More to Learn.
Ooh!
That would be my favorite.
Ooh, I love that I love this.
I want to tell you, because they just sent us the album yesterday, and we have been
last night.
listening to it over and over again,
Oh,
really jamming
that
out
makes
to
me
it.
so happy.
Because it's fun. It reminds me of going to the club, because I feel like we don't go out like that anymore.
Right.
But I also feel like, now, you said you didn't want to get buried, with Beyonce, but I feel like that also sets the stage.
Absolutely.
It made it more, for me, it made it more, maybe more aware.
Aware.
Yeah.
And of the importance of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so excited that she did it.
Yeah.
And I can piggyback, honey, because you know when
went to
Beyonce...
you went to the concert.
I went to the And I'm not a concert girl.
You're not. I'm not either.
I'm not a big concert person. I'm a theater person.
Right.
So, there are very few concerts I've been to. And baby, ooh, unreal. Really, really just, I was forever changed.
Right. Now, I want to ask you, even with this album, because first of all, you have so much going on that I know we can't get to, but I know the album right now is your baby. And
yes,
this
it
is.
is.
And the tour, and this is the most important thing to you right now. When did you realize that you wanted to put something out? Because like you said, it's been since 1997 when you put out your first album. When did you know, okay, it's time to do this again? Because you've been putting out singles.
But I've also had, this is my 5th album. Mm-hmm. I had the first one, and then I went inside, and I, as my career progressed, I did self-production.
Right.
So I produced At the Corner of Broadway and Seale in 95, which was in conjunction with the one-person show that I wrote and directed down at the Public Theater under the tutelage of George Wolfe. So that came out. That was self-produced. Then when I did Kinky Boots.
Yes,
which was
Kinky
huge.
Boots.
Yeah.
And I signed to Concord for an album. I did a big sort of Barbra Streisand, full orchestral, Broadway standards album. That was amazing. And then in 2017, I knew that I wanted to cross back over into contemporary pop R&B. I wanted to cross back over into that space. And so I took the Richard Rodgers canon of Rodgers and Hart, Rodgers and Hammerstein. I took that canon. All of those classic songs that we know but we don't know.
Right.
My Favorite Things.
Oh,
My Funny Valentine. All those songs that you know that they wrote back in the 40s and 50s that are so classic that you don't even know that they're,
Right.
So I took those songs and I spun them in I just blacked them up. R&B, gospel, soul, hip hop, rap. And then I brought guests on. People like Leslie Odom Jr. and Patina Miller and Lettucey and India Ari and Deborah Cox. And,
oh, wow.
And so it was sort of my version, Todrick Hall and what's the group? The Pentatonics. That was me sort of doing my Broadway, we're hip, Quincy Jones producing it thing with my friends kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I also understood that because I have this Broadway audience, businessman-wise, I need to help them cross the bridge back over to this other stuff. Because this is the real stuff.
Yeah.
Y'all know me from Broadway, but I'm a gospel R&B soul singer. So I used that as a bridge in my mind. I knew I want to go back to that.
Right.
And speaking that into the universe brought it to me. And by 2019, I was swirled up into this deal. And, was it 2019? Maybe it was
before the pandemic. That's a year.
It was a little before the pandemic. It was the year of the pandemic, actually.
Yeah, 2020. Then.
It was around January, early January of the pandemic, and I started to get interest from Steve Petrone over in England and Wendy Goldstein here, and it just sort of swirled together, and all of a sudden I was back in a real pop deal.
Right.
At 50. I'm I'm 54. I'm fierce.
Very fierce.
There's no time limit to your dreams,
Studio
girl.
54.
I know, that's
Studio 54.
But I feel like things align for you also because there's a lot of chaos right now when it comes to acting and for writing too. But you have so many talents.
Yeah.
That I feel like you'll always have some type of avenue when this is strike going on here. At least there's other things that you can focus on.
It's a gift. It really is a blessing, and it's really a gift. And I remember early. I'm gonna throw a name out, Sandy Gallen. Huge manager back in the day. Michael Jackson, Barbra Streisand, that kind of manager.
That's huge.
Mm-hmm. And in the early 90s, when I was doing my first music, I met with him. He was thinking about producing me, and he said to me, you have to make a choice. You have to do one thing. You can't do all the things that you do. Nobody's going to understand you. Mm-hmm. You have to make, and I said, and he was, in his 70s at the time. And I said, with all due respect, I understand what you're saying. And I have to respectfully school you. I'm a Black gay man in America. I didn't use gay man. I used the F word.
Okay.
And I said it on purpose because the homophobia is violent, right? Mm-hmm. That F word is violent. That's what it felt like. And I said, unfortunately, if I only focus on one thing and that one thing doesn't work out, I am ASS out. Am I allowed to say that word?
Yeah.
I'm trying to not cuss.
Ass out.
If I don't work, if it doesn't work out, I'm ass out.
Yeah.
So I have to keep going through the doors that are open for me at any given time and kicking the other ones down simultaneously.
Right.
And so all these years later, this is like 30 plus years later, I'm so glad I trusted and believed in myself.
Thank God.
Because all the doors have cracked open at the same time and they're all happy. It's, you see how giddy I am. I just can't even believe it.
You're intense.
But we love it.
Yeah, we love it. It's great.
And you're one award away from an EGOT. Is that something that you really think about? Like, because you're going to make it happen.
Of course you are.
But does it matter to you?
Here's the deal.
Okay.
I can't not think about it
because
everybody else in the world.
We keep asking you about it.
Keep asking me about it.
Yes.
Here's the deal. I learned really early. I went to Carnegie Mellon University for acting.
Not an easy school to get into.
For drama, one of the greatest in the world. and they taught us, with as stressful as that place was and problematic at that time that it was, the thing that they taught us was the difference in living your life as an artist, a real artist, choosing to be an artist, or wanting to be some sort of superstar. Those are two different things.
Yeah.
Some of the time the two intersect.
Yeah.
But I learned that the art is the point. You do the art because you're called to do it. Sometimes the byproduct of what we do is all this fabulous stuff.
Yeah.
All these awards and other. So it's a byproduct. Mm-hmm. And it's like it doesn't matter and it matters. It's like the internet.
Right, I get
it. It's like social media. It's like it doesn't mean anything and it means everything at the same time. Right?
Because some people will be like, look, you signed up for this. Like when you're getting attacked online or people are invading your privacy, coming up to you, asking for pictures when you don't feel like taking a picture and you're out can't have your private time. But it's like at the same time, they tell you, well, this is part of what comes with it. It is
a part of what comes with it. And I am grateful that I was able to live a life. It didn't really hit for me until I was 49 years old, where I became the thing I am now.
I found out about you on Pose.
Pose, yeah. So I was 47 years old. I already won an Emmy and a Grammy by the time that happened with Kinky Boots. I had already had
Kinky Boots
a 25-year career.
Yeah.
But I'm not in that world.
Of course.
So Jasmine just went to her first Broadway play yesterday.
Last night.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Jazz African hair braiding.
Oh, yeah.
We really good.
Was it good?
Yes. I do have a quick question about this track listing. What is there one particular record that was really hard for you to come up with to tell that story?
No, because the whole point for me now is to tell everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And for me, this is my magnum opus. This is my songs in the key of life. I wrote everything but one song.
What song is that?
I didn't write Children.
You say I like Children too.
M&E.K. wrote Children.
You can see what I like right here.
Yeah,
I mean, I like the
to,
album, but this is my...
More to Learn sort of came out of nowhere. And I was writing with Justin Tranter and the team. And I was like, what's frustrating about the journey is that there's never like you have to choose to be present. You have to choose joy. You have to choose it. It doesn't just show up, right? And so I'm having all of this wild success, and simultaneously there's a lot of uncomfortable stuff going on at the same time. And I was like, why am I still so agitated? Mm-hmm. Why do I still have so much anxiety? And so that's where that lyric came from.
Okay.
High as I still have lessons to learn.
Right.
It's really a powerful song. It's really a powerful song. I love that song.
I want to choose joy. I want to be present. Can you give me some tangible suggestions on how to do that? How to be present or how to...
I'm still trying.
Okay.
I put one foot in front of the other every day.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm really successful at it. Sometimes I'm not. I meditate.
I find you don't enjoy the success without the failures too, because when things don't go right, you feel so much better when
yin
they
and the
finally.
yang.
Yeah, it is true.
But I write.
Okay.
I'm a writer, and I did a book, which I think anybody who is struggling or even not struggling but looking for a way to understand the creativity inside of them, express it, bring it out. There's a workbook that is very popular called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. Yep. It's a 12-week workbook. And, she has this thing in it called morning pages. And the original conceit is you just write 3 pages longhand every day. And you're supposed to write it longhand because it's a different kind of connection.
Because no one does that anymore, too.
And it's free thinking.
My
and
hand be hurting when I write.
You're not used to writing.
Of course. And it's free thinking. And it's, and I find I don't write it anymore. I type it, and I type 3 pages every, try to do it as many mornings as I can. And that is it's a calming, meditative action that is really useful.
Would you ever get married again?
Yeah. I still believe in love.
Yeah, okay. As you should.
I still believe in love. I would get married again.
All right.
Yeah.
With a prenup.
As you should.
In the show business world. I
got it.
Listen, it's not an easy thing. Like you said, when you sneeze, it's in the press and it's in the news. So, put it in the music too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you so much for coming through. I'm excited. Can you talk about the tour a little bit and let people know what to expect when they come to see Black Mona Lisa?
I have to come back on tour, but I did a tour in May, 25 cities in 5 weeks.
That's a lot.
So magical. It was so great to connect with the people. And the concert and the music, as you can hear, is a celebration of life.
Yes.
It's a celebration of hope, joy, peace, all of that. It's and my intention with this album and when I go back on the road is to give the world a big bear hug. It's time to heal.
Right.
And we do that together.
Okay.
We heal the collective traumas that we've been through recently and beyond together. We do that together, and the world needs a healing, and I want to be a part of that.
Right, because when this album comes out, you got to do the tour.
Yeah, well, I've done the tour even before it came out.
But you got to do it again.
So I'm going to be doing it.
We need to circle back.
Yeah, because the album comes out November 17th.
Yes, it does.
Yes. And so I think that once it's out, people need to like, because we've had the pleasure of hearing it.
We need to sing along.
In its entirety.
Yeah, and it's called Black Mona Lisa.
Yeah,
just
Black
so
Mona Lisa. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just so y'all know.
So
Get into that title, darling.
Okay, so you already know it's going to be some drama. But we love it.
Yep, we
and
do.
we love you too, Billy Porter. Thank you so much for coming up here. I know there's a
Thanks
lot
for
going
having
on.
me. Yeah.
But I do feel like with this album, people are going to really love it because we did.
Yes, we did.
It's a joint.
Thank you.
It's a vibe.
All right, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. And I was thinking also, Way Up is like you are so way up from where you started. But I know you will say that you're still on the way up. But to me, you're, you're there.
Thank you.
But there's always other levels to unlock.
I do that all the time. I do that all the time.
All right, Billy Porter.